to the F1 Show podcast. I'm the host, Maurice Wayne, and this is the man in the pits with the tits, Brendan. Hello.
Slightly above the pits this week.
You're slightly above the pits. You are.
Yeah,
that's a good view. That's an old view. There's an old car going. There's an old Ferrari going over your shoulder there.
Is it?
Just the other one. Yeah, I think that's an old Ferrari. Very pixelated. Anyway, so
let's not mention anything else that's pixelated in Japan, okay?
Well, I don't even know where you were going with that, but that's good. So, did we enjoy the race?
Yeah.
It was.
Yes, I did. I did very much. It was a glimpse at what the world could be like without Red Bull.
Oh no, not necessarily Red Bull, just Max Verstappen.
Or without a dominant team, yeah.
Yeah. What's the problem? Well, let's just go to it. Let's just go to a good race, bad race.
Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on, move.
Hey. Good race, bad race. Okay, have you got the results up there, sir?
Yes, I do.
Oh, God. It's almost like we're organised. So,
quite far from that, but anyway.
Yeah. So,
we don't get tarnished with those kind of labels, Wayne. Come on.
Organised.
Wash your mouth out with beer.
Oh, yes, let's do that. What did you have? What curry did you have? Just that. Sorry, listeners. He had a curry just now. That's why we're late. So,
chicken tikka bengal. It was a new curry house, you know, that way, and they're always different in different curry houses. So, the chicken tikka masala was too spicy, and the for my boy that likes spicy food, and the dish that was billed as medium to hot that I ordered wasn't that hot, but it was still flavoursome and nice, so it was good.
You're not going to give a shout out then? Is there going to be a shout out to this curry house?
Abib's Spice in Upton.
They'll see a peak. They'll see a peak of one order.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think there's anybody I know that listens here nearby.
Well, if they want to sponsor us. Anyway, so who came last?
Well,
so now
my friend and yours, Yuki. At least he made it on to the first couple of laps.
Terrible race, terrible qualifying, terrible race.
I think it was the first lap. He went halfway around, you know, and then he got pegged by Pierre, I think. I'm still here.
You're still there?
Yep, there we go. He got tagged by Pierre, didn't he? And then he was he damaged his front wing and his puncture and damaged his suspension, I think. He found out pretty early on, and then that's why he pulled off into the skateboard.
They told him, what was interesting about it, they told him to stop the car.
Yeah.
Not to go on, even though he had a puncture.
Yeah.
Which was, well, could have made it back, couldn't he?
Depends if it was a suspension, which I think it was, then they've got ride height measurements now, and they would have seen it that it had bottomed out, so they would have told him just to bin it there and not bring it back, not damage it anymore, because those floors are delicate, and if he's scraping the floor, especially, so one of the reasons that Red Bull weren't as competitive at this track was because it's so bumpy. They raised the ride height, so it wasn't as grippy. A lot of their downforce is on the underside of the car, so because they lifted it up, it wasn't as grippy around the track, which would explain why, if his suspension's knackered, they don't want him driving around the track and damaging his floor too much.
Yeah.
They're not going to fix that. He's not going back out.
Didn't he have a little bit of a run-in with Perez as well?
Was it Perez? I thought it was Gasly.
No, I think it was Perez. Perez was quite reckless for quite a lot of the race, I thought.
He's fighting for his fight, isn't he?
So Yuki.
Yeah. And then Esteban was the only...
Ocon has some really good overtakes.
he had a great race. He had some good battles with Fernando, his old teammate. And,
it was like 3 abreast at one point, and they were all really respecting each other's room. It was really good, tasty.
I mean, you got to understand why he was so frustrated.
Yeah.
When he he came to the stop, but yeah, it was unfortunate for Esteban there.
No Stroll, obviously, because we don't want to talk about Stroll, do we? Yeah, it's such a good race. So there's not a lot we can talk about. Stroll's
well,
heart. His heart's not in it, is it?
I mean, he took a pretty big hit. I mean, they gave him the all clear. They weren't even monitoring him, as far as I know. And then he called it. He said he didn't feel up to it. But
why have they not got any other people in that team to take over?
You do, but the rules state that you've got to have done at least one qualifying session in the car before you can race.
Oh, I see. So yeah, because it happened in qualifying. No qualifying happened, so
yeah, no free practice or qualifying. So he could have jumped right in the car at quali and qualified last, and then taken part in the race. But it happened during quali, so.
Well, his heart's not in it.
Damn rules.
I think he's just felt the pressure as well. There's a little bit of pressure on him.
Yeah.
So
it was a pretty big wipeout in an unusual place. Or not an unusual place, but nobody else came a cropper there. For example, where George hit the wall.
Yeah.
A couple of other people tagged it. Lando tagged it right in front of him.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But nobody else tagged it where Lance did, and that's my point. Is that was it was an unusual mistake. And then we had Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo.
Very quiet. Again, the Alfa Romeos never get any coverage on the TV, do they?
No, well, Valtteri didn't finish. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know why not. I don't
remember seeing it. When watching it, I don't remember seeing it.
He did 51 laps apparently, and then DNF. So I don't know if they took him off in the pits or what. And then
51 laps. Where did he DNF from?
It doesn't say. I don't know.
Oh.
And none of the stories I've read cover it, so I don't know if it was let me have just a quick check on the old Goggly.
Yeah, Goggly. It always tells you the truth, the old Google, doesn't it? That's what I'm told. That's what I'm told to say. There we go.
Valtteri Bottas.
Very good.
It really wasn't his day, apparently. They were still investigating 4 days ago, so Sunday, they were still investigating the cause of his DNF.
What was it? Was he in the points?
I don't know where he was when he came out. Let me have a quick.
That's Alfa Romeo team doesn't. You just don't get any coverage of them. They're never up in the fight.
Zhou was 12th. They had weird strategies. Where's Valtteri?
Oh well.
Can't find it, mate.
Well, let's just move on. We'll do what the mainstream TV do and just forget them. Right, next.
It's a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame. It's Bottas.
It's Valtteri.
Yeah.
So
who was next?
Well, they were the no classifications.
Okay.
So in 16th place was Georgie Russell.
Yeah.
Lap 61 out of 62.
I don't understand why does he get? So does he get a placement and not a DNF?
Yes. He gets a placement and a DNF.
That doesn't make sense to me. He hasn't completed the race distance.
He completed the race distance enough to get a placement. If so, there's the point in the race where I think it's about 3/4 of the distance. That if it stops then, or if you stop, that's your placement in the grid. but everyone kept going past him.
I think either you finish the race or you don't. He didn't.
That doesn't say he finished the race. He said he got a placement.
It's a bit of double think going on there.
If 10 drivers prior to George Russell had not completed 3/4 of the length of the race, right? Massive crash. 10 drivers left, and George does what he did on the last lap. Even though he DNF'd, he would be categorized as 10th and would get a point for that.
I find that odd. I thought you haven't completed the race, the actual distance of the race, then you have not finished, and you shouldn't get anything. So, like Monaco, I think it was in the 90s, Olivier Panis won it. I think only 4 cars finished. And it's like, imagine if only 3 cars finished and the 3rd car crashed, that you still got on the podium? It doesn't make sense to me. They didn't complete They didn't complete anything, or even that sentence. Let's move on. Yeah. Let's go to the... Go on.
And then in 15th place, do you remember? Yeah,
no,
poor Fernando. Poor
Fernando. What's gone on with Aston Martin? They've really just slipped back.
They just shot themselves in the foot, didn't they? You know, they weren't on the ball at all, my son. At all.
Just part of you, John. So I don't understand what's happened to Aston Martin. Poor old Fernando.
No, they made so
I'm
many
not going to start
mistakes.
singing.
Their car wasn't fast.
Is it this particular track? This particular track.
They made strategic errors as well. Apparently, because of the new aero package, they've redesigned the rear jack.
Yeah.
And when the jackman jacked up, it fell off, and then they had to get another jack in, which made it a real slow.
Yeah, there was a few sloppy pit stops going on.
Yeah, there was, not just Aston Martin, but across the board.
Yeah, I thought Ferrari did very well, actually. They didn't cock their pit stops. They double stacked really nicely. But
until they held Charles Leclerc back and screwed his race up because of traffic.
What? Because of the traffic on the track or the traffic in the pits?
Traffic in the pit lane.
You can't unsafe release.
Still, well, no, you're
going to get a penalty either way.
But if they're bringing it in if they're trying to double stack during a VSC, then they're going to.
If they complete the pit stop, that's what I mean.
Yeah, they
didn't cut the pit stop, but okay.
It was a strategy, which is what my point
was. The strategy? I think I don't know about that, but I know what you're saying, to make sure that Science got the win. Who was next who was next up? Next up, come on.
Logan Sargent.
Oh, it's just.
So he brought out a yellow flag as well. It shows you how bad Fernando's day was, that even though Logan Sargent put it into the wall, had to get a new nose because of the yellow flag, he still finished ahead of Fernando. That's a win. That's a
win for him, for Logan Sargent. That's a win.
Yeah.
Because Albon was out, wasn't he? Albon got knocked out.
No, Albon was 11th.
Did he have a little bit of a collision with Perez at some point?
There was a clash during...
I get confused. And here's the thing. I just want a little moan. Let's just get this out of the way. Stop changing your liveries of your cars. Because that Williams looked like what a McLaren looked like.
It looked like a McLaren, yeah.
And it's like...
Because it's Golf. They're sponsored by Golf now.
And it's like, okay, now you look like the McLaren that did that. I think they did that at Monaco. And it's like...
AlphaTauri, this is a confusing one for me. AlphaTauri are now sponsored by Orlean or Orlen or whatever they're called, who used to sponsor Alpha, and they've got the same rear wing. They've got the name on the rear wing again. So I see the rear wing, I'm like, oh, that's an Alpha, that's doing all right. And it's not, it's an AlphaTauri, not an Alfa Romeo. So technically correct by calling it an Alpha.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot there. Well, years ago, Toro Rosso, they both were Red Bulls. Do you know what I mean? They both had the same markings. They look the same. But stop halfway through a season. Stop doing this. Just stick to something, so that when I'm watching races,
I don't mind special occasions, but don't make them look like similar ones that have been on the track before recently.
Yeah, just stop. No, I don't like it. I'm a traditionalist. Stick with the one helmet design. Stick with the one livery. Thank you.
But mate, it's all about the Benjamins. It's the marketing. Oh, buy George Russell's 2023 Singapore Grand Prix helmet.
No.
Have you seen Lewis Hamilton's one for this weekend?
Oh, for crying out loud! Really?
It
He
looks like
he had an identifiable helmet.
It looks like Daft Punk.
It looks like no, really. He's all right. Well, I'll be interested to see it, but
I don't think the yellow lights will be there in the visor during the race. But
yeah, Nile Rodgers just running along behind playing his guitar. Yeah,
Daft Punk, Nile Rodgers, but
played on one of their biggest hits.
Yeah, he was sampled, wasn't he?
No, he played on it.
Right. Well, he's not part of Daft Punk though.
Oh, why have you got that? That's the only identifiable thing. Why have you got to do that?
He Daft Punk are famous for having helmets on.
Yes, I get that. I get that. And I just extended it to Nile Rodgers running behind him playing the guitar. Next. Nile Rodgers.
Nico Hulkenberg, 13th.
13th. Haas didn't have a bad weekend. Haas didn't.
No, they didn't.
By all intents and purposes.
Kev Magnussen had a good weekend. You know, he outperformed Nico.
The beautiful man that he is.
Yeah.
So that was 13th. Well, 13th. Yep. Keep going.
12th was Zhou Guan Yu. He did all right, you know.
Did all right, yeah.
Is he re-signed?
Is he re-signed yet?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
No, they've just no Ferrari. Okay, next.
There was we talked about it last week.
Probably
Alex Albon
slept.
was 11th.
Just out of points for Alex Albon, bit of a shame. He deserves a little bit more. That Williams looked like it was getting a bit tasty, but now maybe it's this track. This track is
it's a track. It's a bumpy track, and because it's got it's narrow. It's got those side barriers on it, which create weird aerodynamics.
Vortexes. Well, and they've changed the track. They've changed the track twice now, haven't they? Since 2008. They took out the Singapore sling, which is one of my favourite beverages. Yeah. Let's have a drink to that. A Singapore sling. I don't think I've ever had a Singapore sling. What's in it?
I've got no idea.
There you go then. There you go. A well-informed, high-quality podcast. They've taken that part of the track out, and then they've taken another part of the track out. It's almost like this track is evolving into a really good track.
Do you prefer it with the marina curve, the four corners out? Do you prefer it with that? Or
I prefer a good race, and if those four corners gone, make it a good race. Do you know what? Watching it, you can't see the change in the track. Like when you look at a track like Silverstone, because if they change Monaco, you're going to know because you've been watching it for years. There's something about some of these street circuits. They look very samey when you're watching it. You can't really make out. You don't know what corner they're at. Do you see what I mean? Yes. When you're watching Monaco, you know what. And even Silverstone,
Baku. You know.
You know what corners are what.
Yeah.
But watching some of these street circuity kind of tracks, you're like, I know they've changed the track and the racing's got better. Brilliant. I don't know. If you showed me a photo of a corner, I wouldn't go, oh, that's corner 4.
There's a couple of places like the Anderson Bridge. Everyone knows that because that's
because it's so tight. And like the Baku, that kind of bit that goes through, one of my favourite parts. And obviously Monaco, every corner, you know every corner. But
well, you do because you walked around it.
I walked around it. Check it out. Link in description.
Check out that video, guys.
Look at that video. Be the fourth person to
maybe don't watch the one of them, filming himself on the toilet while somebody's.
I wasn't on the. I was finished.
Watch that one. Yeah, but you're still on the toilet.
But you didn't see any of my junk. Jeez.
I didn't say you did. I just said you were on the toilet and someone beside you was vomiting.
Oh my god.
All I said.
That was funny. Anyway, so who's next?
Singapore Sling is gin, cherry brandy, Benedictine, Angostura bitters, pineapple, lime
Angostura
juice.
Bitters. Killer that, isn't it?
With pineapple and a cherry. What's
Jesus
that?
Christ. Angostura bitters. If you have too much, that's actually a poison, isn't it? Angostura bitters.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I do like a bit of it.
Albon was 11th. K-Mag was 10th. And then we have to talk about Liam Lawson continuing his
continuing to shit on any dreams that Ricardo has got of getting back in the car.
Now, the word is we're recording this on Thursday night before the Japanese Grand Prix.
But you're there in the pits,
the word
obviously.
Is, yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's Thursday night your time. It's Friday morning my time.
Yeah, floating above the pits.
But the Indian still delivers. But anyway,
yeah. Wow.
Don't let them behind the curtain, mate.
Let's not spoil. Let's not break the fourth wall here. You're not.
No, don't break the fourth wall. You out with the technical terms.
Go on, the word is. Spit it out.
Yuki and Danny Rick have been confirmed allegedly for next year. That's the news that's going to be announced allegedly.
The word allegedly, that's being announced. Wait, what? The announcement is we're allegedly confirming?
Yeah.
Or that the announcement is allegedly? Oh, God.
It will probably happen this weekend.
I think Liam Lawson.
It's on Twitter.
Oh, it's true then. It's true.
Yeah, it must be true. It's on Twitter, you know.
I think they'll regret that. I don't know.
You think?
Is Ricardo racing this weekend?
No.
I think if Liam, if he puts it in the points, if he gets, this is the only weekend. Right, he's not really raced against Tsunoda, is he?
Not really. He's only had one race in the car, really.
But he's not racing.
I reckon Liam Lawson will be with Williams next year.
Ooh, that is a saucy little call, isn't it? He'll be on the track.
Right,
I think he'll be on the track. But this was a bit like De Vries, but he only had one race, and everyone went mad for him. But okay, Liam Lawson's on the track. You're saying Williams? That's an interesting.
Liam Lawson's on the track winning points, mate. You know he's.
So did De Vries when he did the super sub thing.
One race.
Yeah, but this is 3 races. So at what point is it? Yeah.
One race, right? He was like, yeah, I'm going to nail it for the weekend. He focused. He did his thing. He nailed it, right? That's, you know,
he had nothing to lose.
New manager. When a new manager comes into a football side, the exact same shit players play better for the new manager for the first couple of weeks, and then go back to being crap again. And that's what happened with Nick De Vries, I think. But Liam Lawson, he's
been anything about football.
Yeah, I know you.
No, but
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the thousands of people that listen.
Thousands of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Let's not over-egg the pudding here, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I think the Nick De Vries thing must have been he had nothing to lose, kind of thing. Once you get the seat, but this guy's had a nice little steady progression. Anyway, next, who was next?
After Liam was Sergio.
I can't. He's all over the show. Can we
talk about Red Bull?
Go. Is this a pit topic or is this?
I think they made a technical error with not pitting when everyone else did. A strategy error. Everybody else pitted on Logan Sargent's safety car, and they
came too early. They were on hards.
Yeah,
came too early.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's a problem you have a lot, isn't it? Apparently. Anyway,
I'm always on hard, so I come too early. I don't know what you. I think a bit of both. Oh, we've all had a drink. So they were on the wrong type. I think they put the hards on. Oh, yeah, it's going to be disastrous. I think they got all hard and they waited for something to happen, but it happened too late. Too early. Yeah, it happened too early. Yeah, there's enough material there for a load of puns, but it happened too early. They thought they'll run long, expecting a safety car maybe, but not.
Yeah, and they got a safety car, but it was too early. So I think that's what screwed them. I think they both did very well to get where they ended up, because at one point they were down at the bottom. The pair of them were down dead last.
Yeah,
they were both at the back of the field at some point. So to end up 8th and 5th, given those strategy decisions, that's pretty good going from the Red Bulls. Obviously, Sergio did well, Max, I think, did much better.
Surprise! Really? Surprise!
Yeah. But then they both get caught out with crappy tires towards the end of the race, and not enough time in the bank to go in and change them again.
Not enough in the bank. So
7th.
Go on in. It was 7th.
Oscar the rookie, hey?
He's still doing all right in that team.
He's doing brilliant, isn't he?
He's doing all right.
Come on.
I feel like there's still a few mistakes in him yet. I don't know. I think he still needs to be a bit closer to Norris.
So he's just signed a contract for extended to 2026.
2026, blimey.
Yeah.
That feels like almost 3 years away. That's quite a long little contract, isn't it? Not a rolling 1 year contract or anything like that.
I mean, he out of 22 drivers
for a rookie season. For a rookie season to get
22 drivers in the 22 drivers in the championship, he's 11th.
Right down the middle, straight down the middle.
Right in his rookie season. Admittedly, Lance Stroll's beating him, but anyway.
Exactly. It's a bit too. Isn't it a bit too soon to
only by 5 points. I mean, he'll have Lance next race.
Yeah, well, if Lance fancies doing it.
Lance turns up, but unless he's off getting his nails done or he's playing a game of tennis or whatever.
Getting his hair done or something. I don't know what Lance would do.
So
what's Lance going to do? This is the questions Lance should be asking himself. What are you going to do, son? It might be just one of those drivers that just moves to a different formula or a different form of driving and then succeeds. Those drivers. Yeah, he's the best driver in tennis.
He's the best Formula One driver in tennis right now.
He's the number one ex-Formula One driver playing tennis in the world.
Talk about niche.
That's a niche championship. You name another Formula One driver that's better at tennis than him.
In the Canadian PTA circuit, or whatever they call it, the Tennis Association in Canada.
You've lost me now. You've lost your audience. So Piastri, who's next?
So Piastri's doing well, and he signed a new contract. Gasly, I thought there was some good fights with him. There was some good battling with him. Then Verstappen was 5th. I have to say,
Gasly did well to get there. He
did, yeah. He must have been good for. I think there was a stat that Oscar Piastri was the first person to overtake Max Verstappen on a track this season.
Yeah. There's a couple of them going and past him. Hamilton went past him.
Loads of people did this weekend, and it must have been nice for them to do that. Eh?
Yeah.
After the nose rubbing that he's done to them in this last season, putting their nose in the dirt, starting wherever you want me to start, and I'll still beat you home. And then for them to be overtaking them, that must have been a good feeling.
Yeah. But it was the car, not the drivers, I think. Next.
Yeah. Charles Leclerc in 4th. Oh, yeah, Verstappen in 5th. Yeah. Then Leclerc in 4th.
Yeah, poor old Leclerc. I'm starting to feel a bit for this guy.
Is he still the number one driver for
No, he's not. I don't think so.
Absolutely not. I think Carlos has shown himself to be just a tactician. We'll get to him in a minute, but I think Charles had a good drive given the machine that was under him. He must have enjoyed overtaking Max, fighting with the Mercedes. Ultimately it didn't turn out in his favor, but it was he kind of lost his tires.
Strategy-wise, those Mercedes were fantastic.
And we moved to number 3, Lewis Hamilton. It was risky, but it was ballsy, and that's the thing about champions, isn't it? Is they do risky things and they pull them off.
That was another 3 or 4 laps, and they would have won that race.
And that's not.
It would have been a Mercedes 1-2. I thought that the Mercedes strategy, they did a nice little. Did they do a double stack?
I think strategy was very, very good. It's what? Yeah, it was good at double stack. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. and it was interesting hearing Lewis asking for George to speed up.
Yeah, I don't think that's that's not out of character for him, was it?
No,
he
it's not.
clearly was being backed up by Norris, though. That's the problem, wasn't it?
Who was being backed up by
Sainz, who was playing a right little game. Let's get this top 4 battle out of the way. It was genius. It was made for an amazing end to the race.
And what was it? The last 6 laps or something with the 4 of them less. Oh, it was
just phenomenal. And it's just.
I think.
Go on.
I think when Ross Brawn was redesigning the specs for the cars to make them chase closer and make them more interesting, that last 5 laps of that Grand Prix was exactly what he was hoping for.
Did anybody get lapped? What was the spread of the entire field?
80-something seconds.
So, because it just seemed all the way through qualifying, the whole race weekend, they were just glued to each other. There was no. Yeah. I mean, the biggest gap in the race, what was that? Who had the biggest gap? 18 seconds, I think I saw.
To what?
Between two cars.
They're not showing the intervals here, but let me.
I think I saw at the end. I think there was an 18-second gap.
That's 5. That's 12 to 21. That's 10 seconds between Lewis and Charles. And then Charles, Max were close. Then Pierre was 38 seconds behind the leader.
Oh, then 38 seconds behind the leader. Oh, you're doing behind the leader,
right? So Carlos went over the line. 0.8 behind was Lando. 1.2 was Lewis. 21.
Carlos kept that within 1 second. Very well. How do you do that? And there was a great bit where I give kudos to Jolene Palmer's analysis. I watch that every week on F1 TV. If you want to watch that, that's always good. It's a good 45 minutes. He goes through the whole race.
And he knows what he's talking about.
He knows more than we do. Yeah. And he pointed out how Norris kept Russell behind by saving his battery on certain parts. It was really interesting. Go watch it. You've got the F1 TV.
Yeah, I should watch it. Yeah,
definitely. Always watch his analysis, and it was very interesting. Yeah,
but Carlos only had to be within 0.8 during.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Well, he only had to be within 1 second at the DRS detection zone.
But there was a point where Carlos Sainz comes off this straight and he slows down purposely so that Norris could catch him a bit to give him DRS. How do you do that? That's while you're still driving the car.
The car was faster on the straights and the corners, so he knew that he could pull away from him.
Technically how you do it, but I don't know how.
Oh, how you
all
think
those
about
buttons? It. I can't even play the Xbox. I can't do it. It's just too many buttons.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Well, I haven't even played it yet. My daughter seems to be really good at it, but not me. I thought, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something, now it's completely gone. The crash. George Russell. He must have been just...
Lando hit the same place.
Yeah.
Right before him. He just kissed it. And then George... So,
I think you're just so focused on that guy in front of you that you're just following him.
Yeah, it happens a lot in sim racing, right? And on the F1 game, you end up following the car in front. You don't drive the track, you follow the guy in front. And that's what had happened to George, they reckon, is that he was following Lando and he was just...
in the zone, basically.
He wasn't driving the track, he was following the guy in front.
But if you see, race car drivers are always looking at 4 corners ahead. If you see the onboard footage, he's looking at the apex because as a driver you're looking, but sort of unconsciously you're following that car in front.
Yeah,
trying to get a good run off. Listen to us. We know what we're talking about here.
Not been on social media. You would have missed the jokes. Did you see any of the pictures of where the nose of the car ended up in the barrier?
No. Are these good memes? I think they call them memes
because it said Singapore Airlines.
What young people call them. Yeah.
Singapore Airlines, right? And he put it right in the middle of the G, A, and the P of Singapore. And as it was Ayrton Senna said, if
there's a gap.
Go...
Yeah.
There you
He
go.
was talking to Jackie Stewart. Jackie Stewart unceremoniously called him dangerous. And that's why he said that comment. If there's a gap, you go for it.
Yeah. What would Murray say on that?
I don't know. We're going to find out right now. Let's find out right now.
Murray, you there?
Unless I'm very much mistaken. So easy to get it wrong.
Well done, Murray.
So we've done all of the race now, haven't we? Pretty much. And so now we go into a segment we call Pit Talk. Have you got any Pit Talk? He says, moving his chair.
No.
What's this new content? Okay, let's just go. Let's go to a tiny bit of Pit Talk, then we'll go to predictions. Here we go. Pit Talk. Pit Talk. Hey, thank you.
Hey.
So, any Pit Talk, new contracts, Piastri. I don't think that Piastri contract.
What?
That's a long contract. As a driver, main driver, or just in the umbrella of the team.
I think Norris has got a contract to 25.
So he's going to outlast Norris.
Yeah,
outlast him.
But I think it's one of those things. McLaren are looking for stability. They want to build a team. You know, they've openly said that they're building a winning team. They want to build, and that you need longevity for that. You can't be dipping in and out. And that's one of the things that Danny Rick has been criticised for, and Alonso's been criticised for, is moving between teams before they really get settled in and have an effect on the efficiency and the methodology and the car.
Did Danny Rick get criticised for that? I thought Danny Rick was kind of effectively booted out of McLaren, though, wasn't he?
He left Renault, he left Red Bull, all for better, greener grass, and he's never, he could have stayed at Renault and Alpine and seen what happened.
Why would you not stay at Red Bull?
Well, we don't know what happened behind the scenes there. But they've taken him back,
They've taken him back, but it's always like under this umbrella of, you're part of us, but you're not in a team kind of thing. You're not driving.
The divorced elder brother.
Yeah, just turns up at parties. People just chat to him, but
it's that kind of time of the season where the silly season, there's not that much movement. There's not been that much movement. We've had a load of upgrades for Singapore.
So all the seats are settled now. So
pretty much, yeah. We were just waiting for
Alfa Romero settled. Their contract's done.
Alfa Romero.
Williams.
No, not yet.
See. So you're
Williams and AlphaTauri are the seats that are still to be decided, I think. I don't think there's anything else on top of that. But there's not many more updates at the moment.
So Haas is settled with the two old timers.
Yeah, I think they have. I think hang on, let's check. The fun of knowledge.
You're just outside the pits. You could just ask, couldn't you?
Well, nobody's here, mate.
Nobody's here. They're all busy.
They're all getting ready for FP1.
Hey, we're going to get onto that. So he's just checking now. While he's checking, just a filibuster here. So the next race is in Suzuka, isn't it? Seen of many.
Stealing my.
I'm just waiting for you to Google to make sure we know.
So AlphaTauri are still to confirm, and one seat at Williams is still to be confirmed. The rest are all confirmed.
So, and your prediction will be Albon and the new boy.
Lawson at Williams, and
then they'd have to stick with
Ricardo and
Ricardo.
Tsunoda.
Yeah.
What?
Well, if Lawson goes to Williams, then they'll have to, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't think it'll. I don't think AlphaTauri will offer Lawson the seat.
No? Okay. Any other people floating about on the outskirts?
No, really.
Like new drivers from F2.
No, there's a whole, Djokovic and Lawson, and there's a whole. They're multiple F2 winners, and they're knocking on the door.
Oh, that F2 winner's 10 a penny, to be honest.
Not really.
I don't know. Like people like the other rookies and that, they've all done very well in F2. It just seems like, that they've got such a choice. They can just pluck anyone from F2 and go, oh yeah, all right.
So
who's leading the F2 championship now?
Don't know who's leading it now, but the last 22 was Drugovic, 21 was Piastri, 20 was Schumacher. Schumacher's floating around.
See what I mean? It's F2 that much easier.
2019 was De Vries, 2018 was Russell, 17 was Leclerc.
Is F2 easy to win? Is it? If De Vries can win it? There must be a step up. There must be a bigger step up from F2 to F1. That's what I'm saying.
De Vries is a good driver. He's won F2 and he's won the Formula E.
Yeah.
As well. So he's a good driver. It was just too big a step for him. And he takes he's a 2-season driver before he gets in his swing, which is why he's a lot older. He's won all these accolades, but it's taken him a long time to get there, and you don't get given that time in Formula One.
Well, as we can see, poor fella.
Yeah. So
do you think we'll see him again
in F1? No, I don't think so. He's gone to university, I think, now.
That's it. He's quit. What's he going to study?
Business and sport psychology. I don't know.
Probably something wafty like that. Something that media studies. That'll be it. He's lost to a media studies.
He's going to become a commentator.
It could be a
Julian
podcaster.
Palmer's done all right from it.
Julian Palmer. I like Julian Palmer a lot.
Yeah.
I liked his dad. His dad was a good driver. Never got into a top flight team though. His dad
Arnold.
was what? Jolene Palmer's?
Yeah, Arnold Palmer?
No, it's John. His dad was called Jonathan Palmer. Are you making a joke? Because you're having a little giggle there.
Yeah, I know how much you love other sport, mate. Arnold Palmer was a golfing great. He's old enough to be Julian Palmer's granddad. I'm sure our one podcast are dozens, or hundreds and thousands of dozens of.
Let's stick to Formula One. Let me say, I want to talk about Jonathan Palmer now. Jonathan Palmer was a doctor, very intelligent man, and decided to be a Formula One driver. And he didn't do bad. Got to Formula One, just always in the bottom teams again, Tyrrell, things like that. Never got in the top flight. Around the time of Brundle, when Brundle started, about that time, Jonathan Palmer, Doctor Jonathan Palmer, a proper doctor as well, not one of those doctors that we're.
The Helmut Marko.
Yeah, Dr. Helmut Marko. Doctor of what? Yeah, I don't know. Eugenics.
Law. Right.
Little joke there, little eugenics joke there for the podcast.
In the driver standings at the moment in Formula 2, we have Porsche, who has test driven. He's getting one of the seats for one of the big teams. You know, they have to have a rookie do one of the FP sessions. Pourchaire's getting one of the seats. Jack Doohan is fourth. He's had a test with Williams, I think. Ayumo Iwasa is third.
Beautiful.
Frederick Vesti, I don't
what
think
nationality is he? British?
Well, Iwasa is Japanese.
Okay.
The only other name that I recognise in the top 10 is Enzo Fittipaldi,
Wow.
So he's
How?
the grandson of the.
Oh my God. If I met someone in a pub called Enzo Fittipaldi, I say, what happened? Why are you not a Formula One world champion?
Arthur Leclerc's down in 15th.
Arthur Leclerc, yeah, he's not doing well.
It's good to see there's a Barbadian driver called Zane Maloney.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite cool.
How big is the island of well, they're just islands, aren't they, Barbados? They can't be.
Yeah, it's just one island, yeah.
Is it just one island? How big is it?
Yeah, Barbados. It's one of the bigger islands. It's got a big international airport. It's a hub airport in the Caribbean. It can take the big jumbos. It's probably bigger than Antigua, I think.
Ah. It does strike you like where people come from and how they, like when you think about Mika Hakkinen and people like that, how a country can have so many world champions where another country can have none. Like Germany and Spain. Spain's a bigger country. Why would there not be more racing success? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Why, it's a well.
Yeah. Just,
are they better drivers because they drive in the rain?
Finland. I mean, it's a very small country, isn't it? But they have all these like
world champions. On ice.
Yeah.
You learn to drive on ice, and you have to deal with that. So.
Yeah.
The feeder series.
So
apart from that, mate, it's quite a quiet week, to be honest. We're just getting ready for Japan.
It's a perfect segue, isn't it?
Sebastian Vettel is quite high profile this weekend.
Oh, go on.
Suzuka's always been his favourite circuit. He said that he would happily never drive a circuit again if Suzuka was the only one he was allowed to drive. He has built a bunch of beehives at one of the corners, and had a big ceremony today where they planted them all, or put them in the ground and opened them all for business. Put the queens in and put loads of beehives in, and it's part of his ecological thing. I think he might be there to make an announcement as well. I don't know, but
I want him back. I want him back because what's he going to do? I just feel.
Who would he race for?
Who would he?
AlphaTauri?
Williams?
AlphaTauri or Williams, that's it. Although people have said that he might be taking over from Dr. Helmet.
So
he's going to be Captain Codpiece.
I think he'll get bored. He's bored already, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's strange that he's decided to do this weekend. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes of it. It probably won't, but so
probably eyeing a drive for 25. Eyeing a drive for 25.
You're a poet. You don't even know it.
That was good. Should we go into predictions now? I think we've done all the work now. We've done all.
I'm ready to riot it. Riot it.
Yay! So let's add up our points first. Let's share the screen. I'm all ready, as always, because I'm a well-oiled machine.
Professional.
Can you see that?
You leave your personal life out of this.
We're going to get through 1 week without you mentioning Grindr. I don't think we are. Oh, you didn't
mention it first.
Right, where have you gone? Why is it you're not on the screen? Okay, here we go. So what pen am I going to use for this? I'm going to use this pen here, because when I use that pen, it doesn't work. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, guess we're using this pen. Right, okay. Let's get the points total. Just remember the points. That's all you have to do, right? Let's move all these things out of the way that are giving me all Lots of information. Let's get that out of the way. Got 2 screens. It's a bit like Minority Report here. An old reference which no one will find funny. Okay. Let's just test. Hey, here we go. See? Well oiled. Well oiled. Okay, so Sonoda. Should we do your points first, sir? Shall we?
Yeah, go on.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Still there, still hanging on there, aren't you? At 10:30 at night. Okay, Sonoda, no points. Albon, no points. Didn't get
Are you going from the bottom?
Yeah, I thought.
I can't see the screen because I'm looking at the positions as well. Right, go.
Okay, Piastri, where'd he come? No, Alonso, where'd he come? Last, no points.
Yeah, no points.
Piastri, where'd he come?
7th.
Damn it, 2 points. Russell, no points. No, you get a point, don't you? No points. He didn't finish.
No points.
Hamilton, where'd he come?
3rd. 1
point. Norris, 1 point. Leclerc, 1 point. Nothing. Oh, Verstappen, 1 point. And Sainz, 2 points. You cheeky. Wowzers. I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed you got Sainz to win. Who got the pole? Sainz, isn't it?
Sainz got pole, yeah.
Nothing for you. Fastest lap?
Lewis Hamilton.
Nothing. Hamilton. Okay. What was the fastest lap time?
1:35.86.
Oh, nothing for you there. So I get the point for that fastest lap time. Then look at that. It's okay. Right. Let's add up your points. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. 39 plus 8. Go for it.
140.
147. 147.
7.
Okay, you're on 147. Remember that when we open up the next document. Okay.
Snooker break.
It's not the highest, technically not the highest break. If you come in after a foul, you get 151.
151.
And that would be part of your break. So technically 147 isn't the highest break. You heard it here first on the F1 Show podcast. Okay.
And here is me just giving you a hard time for not knowing about other sports. Eh?
I don't even know if that's technically true, actually. I know that if you come in after a foul, it's part of your break. If you fouled on the black, you come in.
It's only
shortly.
4.
It's only 4 a foul.
Yeah.
Any
snooker.
ball. I thought if you hit a different coloured ball, the points would be part of the foul. Am I not right with that?
Tell you what, go listen to a snooker podcast and let me know the next day. All right.
Okay, so we'll find out the highest, technically the highest break. I think it's 151. The whole internet and the whole world will say no, it's 147. Anyway, Gasly, where did he come?
Gasly was
Wow. Why
6th.
6th, or I get a point. Piastri, I get a point. Where did he come again? 7th. Yeah.
7th.
Russell, I get a point. Alonso, no point. Hamilton, I get a point. Where did he come, Hamilton?
3rd.
Okay, so I get a point because I got him in 6th. Perez, where did he come? Just out of interest, I've forgotten already.
Perez was 8th.
Okay, so I get a point for him. Leclerc, he was 5th,
4th.
wasn't he?
4th.
He was 4th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of Russell. How silly of me. 2 points for him. I get 1 for Sainz. I get 2 points for Norris, don't I? Look at that. I get. And where did Verstappen come? 8th. 8th. 5th. I get a point.
Yeah.
Who got the fastest lap?
Lewis Hamilton again.
Okay, again. Yeah. Nothing there, nothing there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. 1, 3, 8. 1, 3, 8. Still.
This is getting a bit like Max Verstappen. I could have taken this week off. And
Here's a
he'd still be
question.
behind me.
Max Verstappen technically could take the rest of the season off, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Even when even if everybody else failed to finish, but who's second still? Perez,
yeah.
And Perez won every race.
Yeah.
It's technically it's over for the championship.
Yeah.
And constructors as well, I would say, because they'd be too busy trying to win the races. So you're 147, technically not the highest break in snooker, and 138.
According to Wikipedia, it is
Why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to ruin that? Let me just stop sharing.
Well, because everybody's going to do it anyway to you, you know, so.
Why? See, now this is what happens. Now I've hit that. I don't know how to get out of that. Okay. Let's take that off. Stop. Mouse. Okay. Let's close that. There's loads of markings. I have to stop sharing, don't I?
Ah.
Stop sharing screen. There, right. Which is annoying because now I have to do something in the edit. Which is a bit.
So the highest potential maximum
Listen to me
break,
moaning about having to do any form of editing on this video. Go on.
the potential maximum break is 155. Right?
55?
155, yeah. So if the opening player fouls before any reds are potted and leaves the incoming player snookered on all 15 reds, the player can nominate one of the other colours as a red, known as a free ball, which carries the same value as a red for just that shot. If the free ball is potted, the referee places this coloured ball back on its original location, de facto creating a setup as if there were 16 reds in total, thus creating a potential maximum break of 155 if a player starts from a free ball position.
I'm really glad you cleared that up. So 155. So how many points is that? 5, 6. Right, 1, 4, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 points. Penalty points to start with. Which is like a black and a red ball, isn't it? I don't know. He says.
Anyway, let's get back on the Formula One.
Yeah,
right, we're doing the predictions. All right, so you're clearing the deck. We are going to Suzuka International Racing Course for the Formula One Lenovo Japanese Grand Prix 2023. That's a nice succinct title. It had its first Grand Prix. What?
Doesn't need Lenovo, does it?
It had its first Grand Prix in 1987. We don't need progress. It's going to be.
No, that's not progress. That's just called change. It's a different thing. Go on.
In your mind, there's going to be 53 laps over a circuit of 5.807 kilometers long, given as a total race distance of 307 kilometers, and the lap record is held by, who do you think, Wayne?
I'm going to go Sebastian Vettel. Vettel or Vettel?
2019.
What?
Set in 2019.
No, it's not going to be the Vettel then, is it?
4 years ago that was, mate. That always seems like the future, and then you look at it and it's actually the past.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? Weird how that time. I think, all right, we'll go Hamilton.
Yeah, it was Hamilton in a time of 1 minute 30.983.
Has the track changed?
I don't know. Last year's fastest lap was 1 minute 44 set by Zhou Guanyu, of all people.
It must have been raining.
Well, yeah, it was raining. Yeah, it was a wet lap. Yeah.
Okay. Is it predicted rain?
To give you an idea, the pole position lap was 129.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so you're there as well because you're there. You can just put your hand out. Is it raining? It's going to rain this weekend.
It's not forecast for rain this weekend, no.
Okay. So who's going to be on pole, sir?
I think we're going to be back to BUA or BAU. Business as usual.
Yeah. Verstappen.
Max Verstappen. Do you know what? I'm going to push it out here. I'm going to say Verstappen's going to win, but I think Leclerc's going to be. Or is it going to be Sainz?
You're doing this on purpose to me. I'm typing. Go on. What are you going to do?
Come on! I didn't know we were doing these. I'm making this up as I go along, mate. Let's do Sainz on pole, and
he's on the roll. Sainz on pole. He's on a roll. Look at that. Another.
Yeah.
And
we're going to go for
vignette. Go on.
Vignette. Then we're going to go for fastest lap time of 128.8.
Oh wow! That's lower than the fastest pole last year. Have a good yawn there, mate. Who's going to get the fastest lap time?
I reckon Perez.
Perez? He's off the
Yeah.
boil. He's off the boil now. That's his season done.
He blows hot and cold, man. I reckon it's going to be
Some
a
of
good
those
weekend
overtakes
for him.
he did.
Yeah.
And his attitude, you can tell in the interviews, he's out. Okay, so
You think?
Yeah, let me do these 3 things, and then you can do your top 10. Okay, I'm gonna go pole for. I'm gonna go science as well. I think there's something they've had some upgrades on that car as well, haven't they?
I think the Vasura.
They're good.
effect,
They're good. They're good at.
I think Fred's
qualifying.
taking charge. You know, I think Fred is having an effect in there.
Fastest lap. I'm gonna go Hamilton.
Ooh.
Well, he's still chasing that second place. Now the lap time, I'm going to go 1.31.465 because I think you're pitching out too low. Okay, who is going to win? You say Verstappen, sir.
Yeah.
Verstappen number 1. Who's second? Just finish.
Sorry, that was a badly timed drink.
That was a bad
Verstappen, then Sainz, then Perez, I think.
We're going to have Sainz there. Second. You think Perez is still going to get on that podium? I just don't.
Then Russell, Leclerc, Norris.
Where's that Norris? There he is, all the way down the bottom there.
Hamilton. Who have we not got yet?
Taking a very rushed. That 10 points is really. We haven't put that on there, have we? Let me just finish.
Then I reckon.
Stroll's not going to be back. Alonso. None of these people.
I think their car's taking a tanking, man. I think they're going to struggle to get the top 10. I think Piastri, then Alonso, and then Albon. I think.
This feels like a very conservative top 10 for you. Okay.
That's called. That's why I'm in the lead, bitch.
It is why you're in the lead. There was no need for the
It's
cash.
called predictions. It's not called
There was no need for
randomly putting people.
that. There was no need to call me a bitch. Okay, so
No, that
you're
wasn't. It's funny.
I did click that. I need you
If only we'd been doing this, for long enough that you'd figured out how to do it.
1, 4, 7. Oh look, it's gone to a completely different colour. I didn't want this colour. What was me? What was I?
138.
1, 3.
Because last week I was on 139
Okay.
before I scored any points.
Okay. Let's do it off. Okay. So to win, I'm gonna go science. I don't know. I think this man might just surprise us, or might not. I don't know if. Do you think Red Bull's troubles are over? I don't know. I'll go for Verstappen second. I'm gonna go Leclerc third. I'm gonna go for another steady 4th for Russell. I do think these Mercedes do end up lying astern, so I'm going to go 5th for Hamilton. Oh, that's the goat, isn't it? I'm copying that. Okay, little tiny goat there underneath Russell in 5th. Now, I haven't got Norris. I'm going to go Norris 6th, so therefore I cancel out any kind of points that you make there. Oh, he's a nasty man. Okay. Gonna go Alonso 7th. I'm gonna put Stroll back in the mix to see if he gets his head around that car
You think?
and his life.
Oh.
I don't think Piastri's going to finish. I think something's going to happen to him. I think still he's got a few. He does get tangled. I'm going to go Gasly 9th.
Wow.
And Sonoda, I think he's going to have a good weekend. Oh no, could we have Dawson? No, let's go Sonoda because we haven't got a picture of him. So, in short, I've got Sainz, to win, Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Russell fourth, Hamilton fifth, Norris sixth, Alonso seventh, Stroll eighth, Gasly ninth, and Tsunoda, I think, is going to finally get in some points and have a good race because that guy deserves it. Going to take a little,
especially at his home Grand Prix.
Yeah, he needs a good result, that boy. So that we got those. Let me just double check. I've saved them because I don't usually. Whatever. Let me just check over here. And there, we've done our predictions.
Brilliant.
That's it. Anything else you want to talk about, sir?
How's Grinder going for you since you brought it up earlier?
Such fuck. Anything else you want to talk about? Come on.
Maybe we should start with that at the start of the
We'll just do it at the start after the intro. You go, how's Grinder? I go,
Yeah.
It's not going very well.
All right, okay. How's Tinder going?
No, about as good as Grinder. Hey.
Okay. Hey. All right, that's been the F1 Show podcast.
Yeah, that has been the F1 Show podcast. I've been your host for the most, Wayne, and this has been the man in the pits in Suzuka there with the tits. Brendan, let's have a little clap.
Very early in the morning.
Very early in the morning. You better get to bed. To bed. Okay, mate. Everybody, wave. Bye.
Bye.